All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High, higher has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just coming with a short message, and I'm coming from Numbers chapter 25. I'm coming from Numbers chapter 25. What I am doing is really gripping the fact that a higher is not one to be played with. Okay. While we take those that he has called with the holy calling, ordained and predestined, we take them very lightly to be who Ahia has called them to be. And yes, I had a problem with many that had issues. I had a problem because I thought that they could bypass those issues. But when those same issues pressed upon me, I saw then and I understood what they were seeing all the time. So a lot of times you don't really know what is uh, when someone else is actually complaining about it. But when you experience it, then you can look back over when you were listening to several other prophetess and them having that same complaint. I would say, this is how I felt about it. Get over it. And it is something Sister Deborah would say to herself, get over it. Because it's not that serious. It really isn't. Even when it has been applied to me, I knew that it was just a time period when I would see some of these issues. And to me, they're not really serious issues, but it just show you that you can be spending your hope for no reason. Okay. And I liked how Ahia dealt with the house of Israel. Let me cut this water off right quick. See, people don't understand. People are really trying everything Ahia has put his hand to and the ways that he has orchestrated from the beginning to the end. There are a lot of situations that are given unto me that I might not be comfortable with. But guess what I do? I salute it because I'm in the flesh. I'm going to have some things that I'm not going to be comfortable with because I am in the flesh. You see, I am spirit, but I am also flesh. So I can embrace the things because I know it is from my Father in heaven. And I have really learned what it really feel like to have him to be a father, a one that's an overseer, a one that provide for you, one that take care of you, one that comforts you, one that teach you, one that knows your beginnings to your end, one that knows all things, all power. I have come to know him, not today, but when I was a young girl. Today is just overwhelmed with more information about him. But yesterday, when I was a young girl, I fell in love with him then. And when I say I fell in love with him, I had a desire to be in his midst and to know who he is, the things that he likes. You see, I always had that feeling for the Most High, and felt that he was all that and some. I always. So here I am today, and I want to cover this message because I realize that just because someone says a higher, someone says, how would I say it, the Ruach HaKodesh, or I have the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh, or a higher, or Yah. You know, that don't mean, it really doesn't mean they in there. All it means is they learned something and they're applying it to their everyday life. Now they have to now do what he says. He says, except they take of the tree of life and eat of it and live forever. So a lot of times we are out here role playing, but I look at it today and look at Ahia yesterday and how he dealt with people. I'm like, Father, these people don't know who they're dealing with. You don't know who you dealing with. We as individuals, I say individuals, I don't want to get connected to my people, you know, the tribe, or I don't want to get connected to that, because right round about now, Ahia didn't separate hens already, you know. And as I was listening, and I always knew, based on when I used to read, I always knew that way back in Exodus, in Genesis, in Numbers, all the way up until now, y'all, Ahia always cut the tree down. He always cut Israel down. And here I'm going to let you hear Numbers chapter 25, so you can hear what was going on. Now, you were listening to me speak on and kind of teach on Exodus 32 and verse 9 all the way down, and to know that, not today or yesterday when I spoke about it, but to just know that when you as a prophetess say something, and there's so many questions about the littlest tiny issue, or how you would do something, do it. But when Sister Deborah speaks, she's speaking based on her testimonies that Ahia have, how would I say it, have suffered her to endure throughout all these years. You see what I'm saying? So it's not so much, and like I say, the testimonies can be even testimonies of others that have stuck with me in my spirit to be used in the day and a time and a midnight hour as this. And as I was listening to how Ahia was telling Moses he was about to destroy the children of Israel, and Moses was in the flesh. Okay? Moses in the flesh. Actually challenging and going up against what Ahia was saying he was going to do. You see? Now he in the flesh, but he's going up or buckling up to what the Father was telling him that he was going to do. That's in Exodus 32. But when Moses come down off the mount from communing with the Most High Ahia, By the time he got to almost the level ground, Moses took the tablets, which Ahiah had wrote with his own finger, the commandments, and he threw them on the ground. Look at the anger that took a hold of him. Wait a minute. You was just on the mountain with him, telling him he need to repent. Your own creator, you telling him he need to repent. Look at what you down here on ground doing. At that moment, Ahiah instilled it into Moses before he even hit the ground. That's how he ended up throwing the tablets and going in and saying, who's on Ahiah's side? Who's on Ahiah's side? And then those Levites that and Aaron, when they took the side of Moses, then Moses began to say, take the sword. And Moses destroyed him and Aaron and the Levites. They destroyed 3,000 of what you all run around here today saying, we the people, we the Hebrew Israelite, we the children, and don't understand because you don't want to go there. They want to learn history, but they ain't going to learn the truth of the matter, which is spirit and truth. They don't want to learn that history. Nobody do. So when Sister Deborah is saying something, it's not very important to give your personal opinion against what she's saying because you feel you would do something different. We are two different people. You in your flesh, I'm in mine. I hope that the Ruach is in yours. I know for sure mine is. He's in mine. But the thing about it is, life is not about trying to make wrong right or right wrong. It's about trying to do what is righteous because of the midnight hour we're in. So as I was coming home tonight, the Father said to me, I want you to go into Exodus 32. When you get there, drop down and you'll see another thing that I did. And I said to the Father, I said, I know you did it throughout the whole Bible. He said, no, I want you to really see, not for us natural see, spiritually see. And I did. I went over and I said, look at here. And that's when the Israelite men decided to do a whoredom with other daughters of other nations. Ahiah took their tails out. Yes, he did. And I'm going to let you hear it. And that's in Numbers chapter 25. And I'm going to slow it down so you can really hear what is actually happening here. Because I believe if you think for 1 minute something Sister Deborah could say that might seem violent or
Numbers 25.
We on Numbers 25. Numbers 25 is where we're at. Numbers chapter 25. Okay.
Numbers 25.
Now just listen to this.
In Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. And the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people, and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that would join unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses. and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
And that is, if you
Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest,
I'm gonna play it
hath
one more
turned
time.
my wrath away from the
can't
children
read
of
the fingers.
Israel, while he was.
This is Numbers 25. And what this is talking about is another situation in which the Most High had to step in, and his wrath was prepared because the men of Israel was hoarding with other daughters of other nations. And they knew at that time, Ahiah said, that's a no-no. But they were doing it. Okay? And they were also doing some idling, worshiping other gods during that time as well. But when you mess with the Most High Ahiah, he takes your tail up out of here. He takes your tail up out of here. He don't have time to play patty cake baker man with you. And he'll use your own lineage to take your tail up out of here. These was the house of Israel, the same people he set free. So don't play with him and think that he's somebody that, okay, we can do this, we can do that. We can just leave him on how would I say it, on the tail end when we want to proclaim that he is all that to us. Because baby, guess what? You're going to end up on that tail end where you thinking you can put him and portray that you are walking upright with him and you're for him. So when we running around here thinking that cause someone saying something, oh, that's horrible, or this person saying this, or I need to question that, or I don't like this here. Look, pick up your Bible and try reading sometimes. And get your tails off these devil platforms, letting somebody read to you and somebody teach you. Learn something. Up under the rock, if you can, but if Ahiah will suffer you too. Because what I'm looking at and I'm seeing is that the Most High is saying to me, I've been so long with you. Don't go the ways of those that has a strong delusion, Deborah. Don't go in the ways of those that I know I have already checked their list. They're blind. They can't see. They're deaf. They can't hear. Don't go in their ways and don't let them get you tied up to where you find yourself going in the ways and the mindset that they feel things should go and is. When you say something, Deborah, stand on it. You don't ever forsake what I've taught you, because that's what it says. It's like, not that's not what it says. That's what it feels like when you constantly hearing others saying things and you're trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. And then they turn and they ask you these questions. You be like, wait a minute. Why? I'm going backwards. I'm not going forward. That means what? I'm not in the race. I'm not looking and focusing on the finish line. I'm turning behind me, okay, to satisfy the runners in the back. And they're not even running. They still at the beginning of the line. And he's trying to teach me, run, Deborah. Don't wait on them. Keep running in the race. I know exactly what he's saying because my life has always been, when I was young in high school, running track. That was something I loved doing. Like I said, I got a scholarship to go to college during the time I ran track in high school. And the thing about it is, I look back over that and I just think about how Ahia would use such a wonderful parable for me, so that he can instill in me to keep the race. And this is the way you keep up in this race. It's not looking back to see everybody standing on at the start line. Run. Because I've gotten in trouble several times by the Most High because I'm way in the back, caught up in what someone else think and feel. No, keep running. You can see the finish line, Deborah. Keep it going. Keep it moving. So today when I was coming home, he told me to look at Exodus 32. I said, okay, that's what I was speaking on yesterday. And it was telling me about Moses, which I had already read that before, but I never thought of Moses being that harsh toward the Most High. That's just showing you, if Moses is speaking this way to the Father, well, wait a minute now, hold up, what's going on here? How he gonna be speaking that way to you? Myself, I couldn't see myself saying things like that, as it said here that Moses said to him, because I don't think we trash to be talking to the Creator like that. And by him saying it to the Creator, about time he hit from the mountain on holy ground, about time he hit the ground, his anger was as hot as the anger he said Ahia had up in the mountain. His was just as worse. That's how he threw the tablet. Why? Because while you sitting questioning the ones that Most High has sent, they running in the race. Where are you? Are you in the race? Are you in one of the lanes? No, you way back there at the starting line. But trying to voice your opinion about one that's already started the race and really looking to see in the race who I am to. Because I know he has someone there. I know that already. But I got to keep my eyes on the finish line. We today are worse than yesterday in the sense of how we feel about the Most High and how we are idling any and everything. We're idling everything we have, everything we got, everything we feel. We idle everything. And that's how they did back then. Even when they were hoarding. In Numbers chapter 25. And it says, and the people began to commit hoarding with daughters of another nation. And he took out 2,400. He told Moses, take them out. Take them out. When Ahia is telling them, Moses, to take out the children of Israel, he's telling him to kill them. To take their swords and kill them. Why? Because what they are doing. So if we think that what we're doing should not hold any consequences, that's how our mindset is, which I also understand is gone. Mine is gone, y'all. It's been gone. but it's gone. I'm down to, what would I say? I say about 98% gone. And in the midst of being gone, you know what? No one is trying to grip the things that spirit. It's like whatever, because this life on this earth, let me tell you, I think has made many of people think that this is the best of the best. This is it right here. So they don't have anything to hope for. And because they can't see a higher to believe him, really, they don't believe. They don't believe. So just like in Numbers chapter 25, it's just like in Exodus chapter 32. Ahiah had Moses and them to take out 2,400 men. Kill them for what they were doing. He said to show the others that he mean business. And where we at today? You're trying to show people and tell people that Ahiah mean business. And if you do this, you subject to have a consequence behind what you do. I don't care what, if you go into a store and you steal something. I don't care if you go anywhere and you out there and you take somebody's car or you steal money from a store. No matter what you do in this midnight hour, which is the worst of the worst, you're going to hold a consequence. And guess what? It could be your very last life, your very life. You could get shot. You could get beaten. So don't do things in such a midnight hour in a wicked and evil time period in which we are in and thinking there's no consequences. Oh, I forgot. We can call the heathens, the police to solve the situation. And let me explain something also with that. A lot of people do not understand that, oh, Father, I know it just feels like Solomon is speaking to me about it's all vain and vax, Deborah, is worthless. And I kind of can feel that. So don't think that Sister Deborah is out here and she don't know what's going on. Because it's really bad out here. And when I say bad, it is dark out here. We are in the midnight hour. And this midnight hour is not an hour in which we can see it to be, clearly see what it is fully detailed or what it's really about, that midnight hour. I think that it's deep. And I understand, Solomon. I know it's vain and vax to go over it again. But again, we must, let me get over this way because I keep hearing Solomon say, Deborah, it's worthless. Okay, so let me turn back to the topic. Okay, Ahiah, if there's not any fear in you of what he's capable of doing to you today, like unto what he did to them yesterday, well, you should have that fear. Instead, many thinking, oh, I'm marked in the forehead. I'm going. I know his name. I have spirit and truth. All these things. And if you think for 1 minute, the Most High don't know who you are. And going back to the beginning, when I said other prophets was dealing, and they were saying how, and several of them have gotten off the platform, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Because it's like you're spinning a wheel. No one's trying to get peace that passes understanding, or to really grip the light, or to really search for the narrow gate or to really desire the bosom of the Father to rest your head on. It just feels like everybody's so busy trying to make sure those that are higher is sinning and have sunk is error or is this and is that, just so they can be comfortable where they at. Let me say an example. I look back over my life and I was thinking about how, let me go there. I'm gonna go there. How I'm just gonna throw this out since I spoke it something just now. I look over my life and I think about how if I was the type of mother that did not lay down rules, guidelines, and if I wasn't bold in my household when I was raising my children, and I wasn't steadfast and unmovable, if I wasn't the person that I was, I would be what everybody else is. If I wasn't the person that I was and is today, I would be what everybody else is today. I think about elementary, my mates in elementary, my high school, my neighborhood, and I think about it. And I said, you know what? I thank the Most High for allowing all of these people from elementary to high school, even my community, not my community, my neighborhood I grew up in, to see me for who I was in their eyes, not knowing who I am. But in their eyes, they saw, and these were children now, they saw a young girl that was tough, didn't take no crap, didn't play, just a whole bunch of things that just set me aside from the things that they were doing. When it came down playing softball, I was in there. Came down running track, I was in there. Came down playing soccer, I was in there. I was cool then, you see. But as time go on, I wasn't going out laying up with all the boys in the neighborhood, and I wasn't hanging out to the parties and the house parties. I didn't get into things like that. I look back over my life and I give a higher all glory and honor for it, because I don't think it has anything to do with me per se. It pretty much has to do with what he sealed me with. And if he sealed me then, what was it and what was the purpose of his right hand molding me and shaping me and sealing me from all the things that everybody was involved in? So I get back and I go to the first community where we came up in the high school and elementary. Everybody was coming home to go to this first reunion. And I get there and I'm looking at people and trying to figure out what's wrong with that person. I'm looking at people and I'm wondering, everybody that came to say hello or say something, everybody was disabled. I'm like, everybody's disabled. Everybody drinking heavily, smoking. Everybody, not everybody, I'm just saying a great number. And then you listen to them talk, you realize that, wait a minute, everybody had sex with this one, this one, this one, this one. But when they got to me, they said, well, you know what? I always had a crush on you, but you was too mean. I at least had 8 guys approach me at that reunion and said, I always had a crush on you, but you were too mean. See, they didn't know it was something Ahia had put on me to keep me from what they were involved in. He had been dealing with me a long time. Now, they talking about in elementary, y'all. And when I say elementary, kindergarten to 8th grade. Okay? And then the 4 years in high school. But we were all talking about elementary because a lot of us went different high school. So we was talking about elementary. I'm just still saying the things that they did, Sister Deborah never did do. Sister Deborah never did step into that lifestyle. Okay? Not to say I'm better than, no, I'm saying that I was set aside for a highest purpose. And the way he set me aside is for them to see that I was the mean of the mean of the mean. So I sat back last week and I started to think about, and I said, Father, that's a heavy thing to carry the rest of your life, to be looked at as mean, mean, mean. But guess what? When they see me, the first thing they say, why is it you don't look like you change? Why is it that everybody else is overweight? Why is it that everybody been drinking and been on drugs and been in the neighborhood sleeping with time? But Deborah, we never heard anything about you. See? You know, they know about everybody's business. I'm going still giving Ahia his right hand of power. And it's him. And we got to stop thinking that we can interfere with what he has ordained, predestined. Because if he sent someone here, it's not for you to think that you're going to climb on top of their head and find a lie in them or find darkness in them, so that your darkness can look to be okay. You can't do it. You won't win. Because I'm still going to be, like they say now, when they see me now, Deborah, can I call you? No, you cannot. You still mean, yes, I am. I call myself non-tolerant. So what happens is, here you go, you raise these kids. No, you didn't raise these kids like 99.9 of mothers raise their children. No, you didn't. You raised them in the fear of Ahia. You brought them up in this word, knowing who he is. So what did that mean? They're not going to be the ones they're not going to escape. They're going to be the ones that, you know, if they head into the lake of fire, he ain't even ask them nothing. Send them on. Because you had something that many did not have. And I say that to everybody that comes on my live and have called themselves subscribers. You don't even know who you in the midst of. And it's sad. And it does, like his father keep telling me, Deborah, it don't matter. It don't matter. So my brother came from California about 3 weeks ago. And he went to Vegas with his 3 friends that's here, home. And my brother got here, and I hadn't seen him. He came to me, said, are you coming to somebody's funeral? So-and-so. You remember so-and-so? I said, yeah, I remember him. He said, well, you know, his father died. I'm like, oh, yeah? He said, yeah. You coming out? I said, coming out? No, I ain't coming. He said, but Rodney Ruffin, he's going to be there, and the other guys and everybody going to be there. You ain't coming out? I'm like saying to myself, why? See, why? Because they're talking about, wait a minute. Have y'all seen Deborah? You see? I already knew what my brother was trying to do. No, I'm not going to get into y'all clique. Sister Deborah, it's not about that. I'm still that mean one that ain't going to take your crap and not going to get in the midst. So what would be for the Father to predestine me, ordain me, call me with a holy calling, and tell me that I am his prophetess and that he is going to teach me. He tells me he has branded me for his name's sake. He tells me he has given me the spirit of endurance. He has given me the spirit to discern. He has given me the spirit to interpret. He didn't given me the spirit of faith. He didn't given me the spirit of belief. He gave me the spirit of trust. So what do I look like having to answer to your emotions and your feelings about the way one thinks or way you would do something? Do it. I don't see myself to be what you call perfect. Because if I felt that I was perfect, Ahia would tell y'all himself, this sister stay before the face of Ahia, repent. And when I go before the Father, I say, Father, please, thank you for your grace and mercy you have poured out on all of us. You have poured so much grace and mercy on me. I just thank you. Father, yeah, I am so sorry that I am not the best that I could be. I'm sorry. But can I ask of you, Father, yeah, to help me to be, Father, the best that you know that I am, for I know not. Teach me the ways that is pleasing to you, Father, that I may walk in your will, your way, your righteousness, for I know not the righteousness that rests in your bosom. I am constantly asking him to forgive me for the things that I think, the things that I feel. Forgive me for the things that I think that is not pleasing to you, the way I may feel that's not pleasing to you, the things that I may say that you are not pleased with, the things that I would do, Father, that's not pleasing to thee. But Father, help me to be the best that you know. And I'm saying it to y'all like that, but no, I be emotional tied into it. And I'm not talking about fleshly. Because I want him to know, even in my flesh, he knows it all, and my spirit. But I still want him to know that I could have been in life better, but I can't be better than what he knows that I am. I am not perfect, and I would never claim that I am. But like I told y'all, you catch me on the other side, y'all, you in trouble. Because I don't know what's on this side. Hallelujah. I don't know what's on this side, but you catch me on the other side, you're going to meet your maker. Because that other side is a side I know that I know. Through all the testimonies that's wrapped around me, the power of that right hand that I've come to know through him. Not through me reading and studying, through a pastor, a bishop, or a priest, or a teacher, but through the teacher of his spirit that teaches me. Yah is not one to be played with, y'all. And know it or not, when you play with Sister Deborah, you play with him. I know that without a doubt. That's that boldness in me that could care less what somebody say, think, feel. It doesn't matter. I know where I am with him, and that's what's important. So earlier I was telling you, I remember it's two of the prophetesses that didn't got off of the platform, but I remember even not sitting down listening to them all the time, but I have heard both of them several times talk about being on this platform. It's not a good thing because you really don't know what you are getting into or who you, but you really don't. You really don't know who you're dealing with. But see, if they were given the spirit of discerning, you see, and if the Ruach was there, then they got a double whammy. The spirit of discerning and then the Ruach, because the Ruach says you try the spirit by the spirit. Okay? Now, what if you got the spirit of discerning from a higher, which is a gift? Then that's a double whammy. People will deal with you. They'll be in the midst of you. They'll be listening to you and don't even know. You know. You know. People who stay and really be dedicated is because their spirit, the Father have already allowed them to know in their spirit. Now, their flesh don't know, baby. Their flesh really don't know. Their flesh really don't know. But their spirit knows. And their spirit was assigned to sit amongst Sister Deborah. Because it's nowhere in the world. If the Ahaya did not teach you what took place before the foundation of the world, you lost without a cause. And that's how I would say it to those who have not and experienced the understanding of that. Lost without a cause. And this is the reason why, a lot of things, this is the reason why many are out there going to and fro and chasing their histories. We got so many of our men still out there trying to convince the heathens that we the people. I like them to chase their history back to what was said in Exodus chapter 32. Come on here in Numbers 25. See what Ahia did. To we the people, we the children, we the chosen, we the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When you read this, you guys, it lets you realize you are so out of whack. You are not lining up with Yah. Because if you read this, and like he's telling me that even Numbers, he said, okay, after Numbers, he wants me, because he was telling me this on my way home tonight. He wants me to go in all the way through, pour those things out, and just bring them forth, drop them, and keep it running. And I'm going to do just that. And what he's saying is, get all of those chapters where I destroyed Israel. What part they don't get? He said, they ain't gonna get. But they need to know. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. So all this teaching that everybody is teaching about Ahia said they can drop it all because it's finished. It's vain and vexed, says Solomon. It's worthless. It's not going to get them anywhere because they refuse to speak spirit and truth of the whole matter in such a midnight hour. It's no way in this hour that we're in that I'm going to be questioning a highest prophet about little things like this here, tinier than a size of a pin needle, the tip of it. Little things that don't have nothing to do with spirit and truth. It's because, like I said the other day, it's about trying to find just that small of an issue with Deborah, so it can manifest me to know she is not the one. Isn't that sad? It is so sad. But you don't know a highest mighty hand that has dealt with me, that has worked with me inside and out, that has molded me as he's the potter and I'm the clay, that has ordained and predestined me. I can say that over and over and over. It don't mean anything. Okay, Solomon, I get it. It's vain and vexed. But you can't continue to think that you're going to find these errors or this this fault in Sister Deborah. Because people wants to put Sister Deborah up here, that's on you. You got the real bad issue. Because Sister Deborah is not all up here. She's on your same level. And when you put her up here, you're then beginning to find a search for little issues with Deborah. So you won't have to think that you are not who you trying to be. Because I found issues in her. Everything that I speak, I will back that thing up. And guess what? I don't have to prove it through no precepts, no line, no here, no little there. But I do, Father. I want a higher to know. I thank Him for Exodus 32 because that nailed it when He told Moses to go down there and they drew the sword to kill Israel. 3,000. Next thing you know, who they are in numbers. Another 2,400. Kill them, said Ahiah. He didn't say knock the hell out of them. He said kill them. You see? You see what I'm saying? So the little things that you will find in Sister Deborah, that's like I was just giving you that example, how my brother come call and said, if you're going to come, Rodney and a couple other guys, he was saying going to be there. No, those are the guys who said that they had a crush on his sister. And they already know that they see me on Facebook. You see? And I don't look like all of them. You see? I don't act like all of them. The devil is a liar. I told my brother, no, I'm not coming. And guess what? I wouldn't have came anyway. But see, he looking at it today. They ask you, are you going to have your sister there? Your sister gonna come? Wait a minute. I was the mean one. What you want me for? Baby, we in the midnight hour. Ain't nothing you can even say to me. I wouldn't even want to be there to even entertain you or to even eat next to you. You and I have been running two different races. Two different races. I'm running toward the finish line. You ain't even started the race. So be careful in who, not just Sister Deborah. If you know that in your spirit that Ahiah is sending the bold ones, which he said it in the biblical also about the bold ones in the last days shall come forth. When you know Ahiah is bringing or sending those out, don't try to find error in them so that you can live in your error that will meet you being satisfied that if I can find error in her, then I will be okay. Same thing with my children. Same thing with my siblings. Same thing with my mother. Same thing with people at my schools. It's about trying to find out why is she not like us? Oh, my kids will tell you they ain't seen my mother smoking, drinking, going out partying. They ain't seen her mother do none of that. They raised him bold and firm, breastfed them, cooked for them, made sure they went to school, made sure I take them to school, made sure they come home to a safe haven. Oh, make sure they knew the word of Ahiah, and knew that no matter what, now one of you gonna override the Most High that I serve. So they know who's my number one. They already know that. I brought them up knowing that. You see? So when things go on in life and people want those, I'm not going to do like Jonah in the well. Say, because you know what? Let me tell you something. He knew those people was off the chain. He knew it. He just did. He was trying to figure out why Ahiah wanted to have anything to do with somebody like that. Ahiah is It's different than the way we think. So a lot of times his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. In the way he see things, why? Somebody wanted to cover that, they wouldn't know. Our highest thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. Okay. How do we detach to his thoughts and his ways? Through his spirit. His spirit usher his ways and his thoughts. But what is still overriding our thoughts? He is in our ways. He is. Why? Because he predestined all things, which is not your thought and it's not your ways, but it's his way and his will. He has already predestined. So that's another issue today, that many watchmen, seers, moorings, preachers, pastors, bishops, apostles, teachers, prophets, prophetess, 99 point trillion don't know nothing about that, because they don't know something took place before the foundation of the world. And when you know that, you don't mess with him, because you know where everything extended or come from. You see? So you don't go over in that area tampering with that. You see? So when Ahia gave me numbers 25, I sat here, I said, well, wait a minute. Hold up. And then he said, just listen to it. Listen to it. When I heard 2,500 was slain, I was like, not we the people, not we the children, not we the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob seed. No, you didn't. You see? You see how messed up from the floor up that our Negroes, especially men, are? They want to search your history. Baby, your history, you first have to search your history in spirit and truth. And that other history, once you understand it in spirit and truth, you realize that other history is dead. You see, it's dead. But we're running around here trying to chase the history to try to prove something to the heathen. Why do we do that? Want me to tell you why? I'm going to go and tell it like it is. Because we still is unbelief and don't agree with and don't believe that we are over here because of Ahia. And they won't believe it. Everything will pass away and you will here have more than more of the Hebrew Israelites still in unbelief that the reason why we are over here is because of the Most High Ahia. Those that said that they're awakened, they still won't have the respect to salute him in the will of how he orchestrated it all. They still trying to prove the history to the heathens. And then when they figured, okay, if I prove it to the Israel, then they're going to awaken and they're going to, no, they're not. They too far gone. And so are you, because you're chasing something that's dead. Try chasing something that's life, that has the light, that's going in the narrow gate, something living, life. No, they don't want to chase that. They want to chase that which is dead, which is a history that ain't even worth chasing, because it cannot do anything for you in such a midnight hour. So when he gives me numbers, and then he gives me Exodus 32, and then give me Numbers 25, now he wants me to go into from Numbers all the way down, y'all, to Revelation, where I see how many he been destroyed from Israel. So I can, I see what he's trying to do. I see exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to get me to understand the end game of, if you destroy this here, that's why it's in Deuteronomy end game, until they are destroyed. You see, in when? The end. That's why there's a small remnant. See, it's because that's the history they need to be searching. You see, That's what the people should be awakening to. You see, that's where they should be fearing the mighty right hand of the Father. But there's nothing in them to fear. It's because it's like there's a spirit of strong delusion and a spirit of we got the power in us and in our hand. Because we the people. You was the people then. From Genesis all the way to Revelation, you've been the people. You've been the one he's taken out and allow Israel to take your tail out in great numbers. I'm waiting for the one he took out. I think it was 6,000. I think it's 10,000. I don't know about the 10,000, but that's what I remember hearing something or reading something like that. But I know it's a 6,000. And when I get them all, it's going to bring a revelation right into Revelation for me. So I think that's what he's leading to, because I was, like I said, I was in the car. He said, go back to Exodus 32, pull it down to this verse, and you'll see where it says Numbers 25. So I got to Numbers 25, and I said, wait a minute, hoarding men were going around marrying other nations, even after you told them, Father Yah. And who killed them? Not other nations. He had Israel to kill their own people. No one ever questions that. You will never hear a Hebrew Israelite man teach that or preach that. Just like they did with Genesis chapter 6. Because it's too much of what you call spirit and truth. So I'm excited. I am so excited. I have a funeral to go to tomorrow. And they got me making salad and tuna. I mean, they really likes that salad that I fixed and that tuna. My older sister said, she called me, she said, are you going to bring that salad and that tuna? I was like, you said you would. I said, yes, I am. So I had to go to the store, get all that stuff. And I'm going to have to make it for at least probably 200. But I'll be able to do it. But I wanted to get to you all and ask you to go over. As a matter of fact, you can also do this if you want to trace some history. Go into the biblical and find how many in each chapter did the Most High Ahijah destroy of the house of Israel. It's showing you that when you get to Deuteronomy 28, Deborah, the end game of the curse, that's why it's okay. You see, we want to make it something so critical and so bad. See, it's okay for us to be destroyed. He's been destroying us from Genesis in great numbers. So what wait a minute, hold up. So why are we caught up in the small remnant? The small remnant is so righteous. Why? Because he's been taking Israel out from the beginning of time because of who they are. They really are. Who they really, really are. We want to pretend we all this and all that and don't see what we're doing out here and how we conducting ourselves and try to justify our wrongdoing, and then don't want the prophetess to judge nor to bring forth a judgment or to bring forth spirit and truth of the whole matter, because it's always something in the spirit of those who wants to cross out the prophets. And they did it. How did they do it, y'all, back in the days? Go back from Genesis to Revelation. How did they do it? To the prophets. They took their lives. They tormented them and they killed them. But you can't do that to the prophetess, because Ahijah didn't give you the authority nor the right. And he will not, because he did not then, and he's not going to do it now. The prophetess is going to stand on Ahijah's word to the end. How you like him now? You see, the power of who he is cannot be moved by men nor women, girls nor boys, males nor females. The prophetess is the judge of the whole house of Israel. You know that they should be trying to find the prophetess word. Where are we today? What should we do from here? What should we do here, 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 here? Instead, they cursing them, killing them with words, trying to find error. You can't find error in a prophetess that has been ordained and predestined by a higher. Why? Because he has molded and shaped them to be what he has called them to be. And any chastising and judging and discipline is going to come strictly from him. You see? So therefore, if he said, if you look and you say, okay, it says prophetess does this. You look over here, it says prophets does this. During the time the prophets, they were tormented, they were beaten, and they were murdered. Not all of them, but a whole bunch of them. You see? So that's why Ahiah had to come down with Yeshua. He had to come down. If he didn't come down with Yeshua, then it'd be just sending another prophet down. So he said, I tell you what, I'm going to send my only begotten son. He's talking his only right hand, his power, his spirit, and his word down with Yeshua. You see, in the sense to show you that everything that we've seen Jesus or Yeshua say and do, it was the Father's beloved Son, his right hand, Christ HaMashiach. Okay, so it's not important to desire to follow someone because you want to put them here. You want to understand in your inner man, I'm following them because what's in me is in them. And we have something in common in the walk with Yah. Okay? Many people have gotten thousands of subscribers and likes and praise even to today because they have this platform. Sister Deborah could care less about getting numbers, subscribers. I want all that Yah has given me that I can actually say I have not lost one. Meaning the ones that he has given are here to stay. Anyone that's not, they were never a part of the will of the Father. See, it's going right back. His mighty power, his right hand, the way he has orchestrated everything. No, Sister Deborah can't get the glory. She can't get the honor. She can't get none of another praise. All of it is given unto Ahiah. So now I kind of understand why he wanted me to cover Numbers 25. He wants me to continue to cover it, and I'm going to do just that. That's going to be my treat. It's going to be a treat for me this week to really get in this biblical under his ruach so he can teach me and show me how many times he had to take Israel to destroy Israel. Israel to destroy Israel. And then they wonder why Sister Deborah says, until they are destroyed. Because Israel has always went up against Ahiah. Always did and always will. That's why Ahiah got his marked. To separate his that he has from those that wants to say that we the people, we Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we the children of the Most High Ahiah. That's the history that they need to be searching. The main history is Deuteronomy 28, the end game of it. But they're not going to do it. He already said it, and Solomon already keep telling me tonight, Deborah is vain and vax. But I just thank the Most High, and I'm going to end here. I thank the Most High for just allowing me to be able to go in and follow his voice that tells me to go in here, check this, Deborah, check this. And all he's doing is making me know, wanting me to know, you ain't never been off the track. You have always been running the race. You stayed in the lane. Continue to stay in the lane. Keep on to the finish line. Don't. No matter who's on the left and who's on the right, let them be on the right and on the left, saying all kind of things. They can be in the back of you at the starting line. Let them stay there. You just make sure you keep running. So Sister Deborah was saying to you, if you are interested, try going from, you're first going to take out Exodus 32, that chapter. Then you're going to go to Numbers chapter 25, and then take it from there and see how many times did Ahiah destroy Israel. From what? For what? For their idling, their sin, their abomination, their hoarding. You're gonna be amazed that, are these, you sure, Sister Deborah? These are the people? You see what I'm saying? See, so when they sit here saying, oh, they took our identity and they said they are the truth, they this and they that, but baby, go back and find out the truth of who you are. They won't do it. These men will not do it. And because these men won't do it, the weakness of the women are so low to where they won't even do their own search. And it's all where? How you say all is finished, it's over. So the game in which everybody think is being played, you being played. Because Ahiah got this here nailed from top to bottom. He do. So Sister Deborah say, I appreciate everyone tuning in. And I will say that I will be back with the other chapters in this Bible stating how Ahiah destroyed Israel. So I hope that you got something out of it, and keep it running. If you are in the race, keep running the race. Don't worry about who's on your left and your right, or who's still at the beginning of the line. Don't worry about them. Let them stay back there. And I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, shalom and shalom.